All right, what's up? Charlie and I are still out here around the North Carolina coast. I think the Carolina coasts are pretty cool. There's something different about them. Georgia coast is cool, Florida coast is cool, but I don't know. There's just something uh, more, I don't know, more charming. Hate to use that word, weird word to use, but about the Carolina coast, both Carolina coasts. This is a coast out here at Fort Macon Beach, and Fort Macon wasn't on a planned itinerary or anything like that, but saw the signs for it. It was free, cool old fort. Figured, heck, why not? So we went out here just to check it out. It's an old fort. Most of its history is thought of as Civil War history, but it was built before the Civil War. Started in like the 1820s, finished in the 1830s, but big part of Civil War history. Kind of changed hands a few times between the North and the South, the Union and the Confederate Army. Both both held positions here at Fort Macon. Real cool looking place, in good shape. Um, kind of gives off like Fort Sumter vibes down a little further south, down Charleston, South Carolina. But um, at least the time we were here, it wasn't very crowded, which was killer. It's awesome getting around these places, and especially kids. People let their kids roam wild, and they get annoying. Uh, people don't have respect for other people being around. That wasn't really an issue here. There were two boys here that were slightly annoying, but all things considered, they were just a minor annoyance. Little flies on a turd. Flag up there on the hilltop looked cool, I thought, with that cannon down below. Um, then during the Reconstruction after the Civil War, there weren't any prisons in North Carolina, North or South Carolina, I think. So for a lot of that time during Reconstruction, this was used as a prison. The U.S. Army kind of gave up on it and left here in the early 1900s, 1907, maybe 1903, something like. I think it's 1903. So they left here, just kind of completely abandoned it. In like the 20s, 20 years later, uh, the property was put up for auction. So I just think anybody could have bought it, I guess. So because they would have had the money. Um, the state actually bought it, and that's when it started being turned over into a park. It's part of the national park, or I think it's a state park, part of the state park system today. Um, but at one point, it was just completely abandoned for like 20 years, just sitting here. So, uh, but not today. It's kept in good shape by the park system. You can kind of walk through here and tour things. It looks real cool shape, and got a lot of old stuff here. You can just kind of wander around at your own leisure, which is cool. I hate guided tours. Freaking guided tours always make me think of when Pee Wee Herman was going through the Alamo. That kind of crap. Like, I can just read this stuff on my own. Just leave me alone. Let me walk through without a bunch of other idiots around, kind of ruining my trip. So that's another plus in my book, being able to go through anywhere without out the guided tour crap. Um, then another facet of history here. So another 20 years passed. This has been a park. In the 40s, World War II broke out, and the U.S. Army actually took this back over again. I think from 41 to 43, 44, something like that. Maybe it's 44. For several years there, they held position here, and guarded the banks of the Carolinas again, of the eastern seashore. So uh, they say the last shot of the Civil War was fired here. Then a couple of U.S. Army soldiers, they had a fire going, and they there was some old Civil War cannonballs still here, and they thought it was just solid iron shot. They rolled those into the fire, and a couple of them exploded. Those aren't real ones right there, but it gives you an idea. Rolled those into the fire, they exploded, and killed two of the soldiers. So they say that was the last shot of the Civil War in the 40s during World War II. Makes it kind of weird to think that the North Carolina coast here would be that important to build a fort, but back in the day, it definitely was. So you had to deal with the Spanish and the British, keeping them at bay, and pirates too, which was the cool part. Of course, we saw Blackbeard stuff there at that museum. And he ran ashore like a mile and a half up the road from where this fort is now. So, and there were other pirates coming in and out of the area back then too, when that was a thing. So, it was definitely an important deal. And then, of course, Civil War when that crap was going on, you had to deal with that from sort of both sides, land and sea at that point. But that's why it changed hands a few times. Cannons look cool looking out over the sea. Those annoying kids, they were up here at these cannons, kind of climbing on them while their parents were nowhere in sight. That kind of crap goes on too much, but at least it was minor here anyway. Parents need to watch the freaking kids. But it was cool to see these. They were locked, couldn't move, but I assume that they can be moved, or else they wouldn't have to be locked. But just looking out over the water there, and then looking down into the fort, that's just a cool view. See how nobody's around, but it did look cool down there. Being up here on the top part of the fort, looking down. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this stop. Charlie and I just running out here and checking things out. Never been. Didn't know much about it, what was going on out here, but definitely worth a stop, free, especially when it's not crowded too. But we're gonna finish this one up, just catching the sunset here out over the water, back out over near Beaufort, and call this one a day. Doesn't get much freaking better than that for a view of the sunset, does it? All right, we're gonna head out of here, and we'll find something else to get into.